in the Austrian Tyrol around the double Olympic city of Innsbruck. We are ready for the action to get underway in the fourth race weekend for the BMW IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Innsbruck, Austria. My name's Martin Haven. Joining me is John Morgan. John, this track they've been racing on since the mid-70s, but it still produces great action.
Well, it's, I always describe it as a very easy track to get down, no danger, but it's very tough to be precise and get down fast. Very flat start up here. A lot of Myers-Taylor as the start record with their longtime brakeman, Miss Evans, and 5:38. I don't know if we'll see that today, Martin, but hey, quiet up here, quiet steering. Here, curve 3. I saw a lot of mistakes there yesterday in Skeleton, people taking that curve twice. Ice, good conditions yesterday. We did a track record in Skeleton. And up here, speeds are slow. It's still a little boring, but Kreisel, 360-degree whip around. Curve 8 sets you up here for the rest of the course. 9, pivotal part of the track, 9 to 10. You got to be perfect. After 10, three-corner combination, the labyrinths, the speeds are high. 12, if you're going to crash, this is a good spot to do it in. You're not far from the finish. Schneiderheinz and Drazik have the track record, and I don't know if we're going to see the track record today, Martin, but the conditions, blue sky, sun, cold, we could see a track record.
Well, you might be right. I mean, the conditions are absolutely perfect. Mariam Yamanka, the Olympic champion, is our World Cup's points leader. She is not here this weekend as part of the pre-season sort out. She was due to do the first 3 races, then hand over to Stephanie Schneider. So Kim Kalicki has the perfect opportunity to head into the Christmas break after this race with the World Cup points lead. So there are a couple of changes in our field. Yeah, the start record goes back to January 2014. The track record, Schneiderheinz and Drazik, as they were racing in the World Championships 2016. Ruby, brand new sled for Anne van Nieuwenhuis, who makes her World Cup first start of the season. Bought during the summer, saying she's spending her parents' inheritance already. Her grandmum, her parents, and friends and family have paid for a brand new BTC sled. The Germans are here in number, and we will see Stephanie Schneider racing for the first time this season in World Cup, along with Belgium's Anne van Nieuwenhuis. So let's take a look at our order. We start with the Italians. Giada Andreucci is first off. Australia's Bree Walker. Andrea Greco of Romania. Laura Nolte, last week's winner. She goes off 4th, so it's a great start draw for her. Kim Kalicki, silver medalist last week. She goes off in 10th position. And Stephanie Schneider, 13th of our 14 sleds. Getting race 4 of the BMW IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup underway in Innsbruck in Austria is Giada Andreucci, the Italian who finished in 10th place here last week. Anna Schenker, 26-year-old brakewoman. They're both in their 3rd World Cup start. They didn't make their debuts together last year, but they raced together last week. Martin Haven and John Morgan calling the action for you from Innsbruck in Austria.
Yeah, the driver, like a lot of the athletes, she's a military athlete. She's in the Italian Air Force. She's a discus thrower. And Martin, it's nice to, ooh, big skid there. That is, you can't do that on this track. Boy, it's all about the speed. No mistakes allowed up top. It's almost boring, this first part of the track here. You gotta be so precise. And now the Kreisel, the big whip around, where you want to exit with a slingshot effect. Curve 8, 9.
This track is the opposite of a golf course. You make your money in those short first corners. Down here, driving for flash. You've already done the cash part early on.
If there's ever the epitome of don't steer, this is the track to do it on. Here's our former world champion, Manuel Mahara, the 2011 world champion in 4-man bobsledding from Germany.
Yeah, he's coaching them. You'll see Simone Bertazzo down at the bottom of the run as well. The former Italian driver, he is the other coach. So they got lots of knowledge in the team.
54.00, Martin. We're far from the track record there. Here's a little mistake into 8, wrong side of the straightaway. Got to go in, got to steer there to correct the mistake of getting in late. And then she's still, well, look at this. Look at the left runners, her right. When you see the spray come off the runner there on the exit, look at these pictures. Beautiful. Yeah. That tells you a lot. That curve 9, I would label that the pivotal part of this track.
Well, last week, 10th place, her World Cup best result. Mind you, it was only her second ever World Cup start. Bree Walker with Sarah Blizzard. Sarah has only ever raced in World Cup here in Innsbruck, made her debut last year rather. Last week, Bree won the monobob race, crashed, but still finished 8th in the women's race. Still her World Cup best result.
100, 200 meter sprinter, the brakeman. And, you know, Brianna, you know, the starts. She had the best starts in the monobob race when she won it. And I would think she caught a lot of press back in Australia, Martin. There's a couple sports the Australians are good at in winter sports. Usually it's that freestyle skiing, short track speed skating, but they really haven't had a lot of success in bobsled. Well, she can open up a whole new avenue for the IBSF down there.
Yeah, she's a leading light in women's monobob, definitely. She's had 5 wins out of 8 races. This is a good-looking run from Bree Walker, 53.54. Spent a lot of last year being coached by Germany's Sandra Kroll, and that has really helped her move on. She spent the summer in Germany as well, training with the German athletes in the Hesse region of Germany.
She spent a lot of time in Lake Placid, going down that track in Lake Placid, so, you know, that's a pretty good place to start your career.
Yep, getting the miles in.
Little high there. Watch her drift to the left side of our screen, probably tap. That's up there where there's no mistakes allowed. That's curve 7. This is the Kreisel, curve 6, excuse me. Kreisel, and down here, look at the little flop off the 10. I don't know if that's too bad. She didn't steer there.
5.72 at the start. That's a PB for this pair. Lots of those being set this week and last week. Andreucci Greco of Romania now in her 40th World Cup start. This is her 20th as a driver. And Katarina Witt behind her started off sliding skeleton for Germany, then changed to her other nation of Romania. And this is her 4th World Cup start.
Good start. You know, we saw her come on last year, Martin, with that silver medal in Sigulda. I got sort of disappointed with her results in Sigulda this year. I thought she's a little late there. But, you know, we saw her as a brakeman a few years ago. She was like 18, and there she is in the front seat now. And I got to believe the Romanians think there's some good potential here.
I think they're absolutely right. And her former brakewoman has also started driving, 34.91 at the split, so she's up on Bree Walker. Last week finished in 9th place. That was her career high here in Innsbruck.
Late airborne. She's going to be the leader, Martin.
In the labyrinth.
Yeah.
53,
best speed
46.
on the bottom. We'll take that.
Okay, we're half a second away from the track record. Do you know what? I think you might be right. I think we might get one in.
I think it's going down. I think
maybe
the track record's going down. Here she's a little, look at the bottom left runner. Look at the left runner. That left runner digs in there no matter what, but she didn't have as much spray coming off it. Good lines. She's a tall athlete, sits very low in the sled. Down here, she's late. Watch this. Watch the back end of the sled if they let this go. The next picture, you'll see the back end of the sled. She steers off of there. She gets a little air right there. That's because she was a little, probably steered too much there in that second labyrinth.
Last week's winner here in Innsbruck, last week's winners, Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy. Lara now in her 9th World Cup. She's got 3 wins, 2 silvers and a bronze. 6th World Cup start for her brakewoman. Last week was her second win. She also has 2 bronze medals, so her career has been pretty starry.
Brakeman's an elementary school teacher. Watch the start here, 5:42. I think we can start to think that this record, Martin,
Yep.
she has a clean upper half here. I think the record might could go down on this sled right here.
I know it's 3 in the morning.
So the last sled came down was 35 hundredths off the record. She's 40 hundredths ahead of them right now. 49 hundredths. Only the second
I think
best
the start
speed,
record and track record are going to go today. So Alana Myers-Taylor and Asia Evans, that record is gone, I think. Not yet, but it will be.
Well, she keeps up at this pace. This is, get the yellow bars out. This is
Here we go.
Champagne out. Another track record. How low can they go? There it is.
Oh!
Wow. Mark, do the math. Wow. Wow. How
8 minutes to 94, 600 quicker. I think we could go another couple of tenths quicker by the end of the second heat. Yes, look, they like the start, 5:42, and they love that track record. Well, they won together last week. They've spent most of their racing careers in World Cup together.
Young German athletes, you know, in the German camp, you better not blink on tour, because if you blink, the coaches can replace you quickly. There's great. I mean, there was hardly any spray off that bottom left runner. That's, you know, track record. She did everything right, as most Germans do.
Just fell over the wall. Francesco Frugic said last week that he was hoping to chase down a track record. I think the men's records could be in danger as well. Next up for Poland, 3rd World Cup for this duo, Sylwia Smolarek and Julia Slupeka. We met them first at the World Championships in Altenburg, so they'd started and completed the World Championships before they even raced in World Cup.
Yeah, they're going to give a lot of time at the start. Driver's a student. She's a soccer player. Brakeman's a track and field athlete.
Brakeman has also raced in monobob. Yeah,
that's great.
New duo for the World Cup season, and it's been a long while since Poland have had any sleds, never mind a woman's sled in the field.
Women's sled. Yeah, we saw them both last year in Altenburg at the World Championships. Did a couple mishaps in training, didn't phase them. They competed in the event, and good to see them out. Good lines, really good lines. She gave up so much time at the start. You know, 6:01, you give up half a second at the start, it's pretty tough to do anything on this track. But through and down, she continues to learn the tricks of the trade. But an athlete like this, Martin, could probably be a lot more successful in monobob. Although the start we saw in monobob.
Both of them drive monobob. Yeah, the start is, it's all down to the driver in monobob, isn't it? Everything. But both of them are driving monobob, and they've combined in this 2 women sled.
Look at the brakeman. See, she doesn't know how to get in yet. Those both arms should come up in cohesion. She hasn't figured that out yet, but she's new on tour. Look at the bottom runners. That's pretty good. Very good. Didn't cut a lot of ice. Great lines. Look how low she is in the cowling. Little flop there out of 10, but pretty good drive lines there, Mark.
Yeah, there's Sylwia, the driver. Julia has only just done her 6th bobsled race ever.
She'll learn about how to get in that sled.
Katrin Beierl of Austria with Jennifer Onosanya behind her. News this week, Katrin Beierl tells me Jennifer has had her Austrian citizenship approved, which means she can slide for Austria in the World Cup, which she has been doing for the last 3 years, but she can go to the Olympics as well. So that is great news for the duo.
Especially for Katrin. They've worked so hard, these two. You know, like we talk about in Austria, there's 3 winter sports they pay attention to. Alpine skiing, and alpine skiing. And she struggles to get the attention, the media, the sponsorship, but she's pretty persistent young lady right here. She's been out about 5 years on tour.
Yeah, I think she was silver medalist in Sigulda. She had her best result ever in Innsbruck here last week in a 5th position. This is her 31st World Cup start, and she is 22 hundredths off the leader. 53.10, second place.
That would have been a track record, right? That would have been an old...
52.94, so just outside.
Just outside.
Yeah. Hey, Martin, it's
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey, Catty.
We wish we were there, Katrin.
Well, listen, because everybody's confined to barracks with COVID, everybody is watching the broadcasts as well. So good morning, everybody, wherever you are. And for the US and Canadian athletes who'll probably catch up later, come on, you guys, get out of bed. John's doing the hard yakka here.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Katrin and, you know, for all the time she's put in. Now she knows she's got the brakeman. Yeah. Let's just hope they stay healthy. She can drive, Martin.
Absolutely. Well, next up for France in her 5th World Cup start, Margot Bock with Carla Seneschal. These duo have slid together pretty much since they started in the sport. Driver's 21, brakewoman 24 from Bordeaux. She's a 100-meter sprinter. And despite what everybody thinks when they first meet them, they are not twins. They're not actually related in any way. Yes. And again, last week, 6th position here, personal best for Margot Bock.
Driver's favorite athlete, Simone Biles. Pretty cool. Martin, I was impressed with her last week. And you know, Sigulda, I think she's got some good eyes and hands. Got to work on the start.
Well, the start may not be the fastest, but it is very smooth. So what they've got, they carry well down the track.
Nice design on the sled. 7th best speed. You know, there's such precision to drive this track. I mean, you just can't make a mistake.
Yeah, this is not a track for busking and sort of adapting as you go along. This is millimeter precision, isn't it?
Yeah.
4th best start, 4th best run at the moment. Yeah, she's ahead of Bree Walker by 600ths. Well, now, listen, let's talk about the COVID situation at the moment, because we've got 2 French teams. We've got the girls here and we've got the French guys. And how well they are isolating is that there was a positive COVID test in Roman Heinrich's male crew, and they've all gone home. The women have not tested positive, so they have kept themselves really well isolated. And in a team that's only like 9 or 10 people in total, that's fantastic self-discipline to keep themselves safe and to keep their teammates safe as well.
Yeah, and Martin, watching these pictures, there's not a lot of mistakes coming down the track. This is a pretty good driver right here.
Smooth looking run. They've got a lot going for them, this duo. Next up for Great Britain, Misha McNeil and Montel Douglas. 4th place finish last week for Misha and Monty, and that is her equal World Cup best. Finished 4th in Altenburg back in 2019. The 2017 Junior World Champion. She was the best British bobsledder in Pyeongchang in the Games, finished in 8th place.
Her brakeman, we know, is a great athlete. She's a 100-meter sprinter. You know, we know Misha. Misha does get the award for sitting the lowest in the sled. Just watch. She barely has her eyes above the cowling, which, you know, if you think of it, Martin, aerodynamics. 4,200's back. Now she's got to keep that within 50 hundredths here to have a chance.
Nice looking run. She's been coached by Pete Gunn and by Matthias Boehmer, who are coaching the British teams.
Look at the speed, 2nd best speed off a start. That's the 4th best start. These are good lines. This is what she did last week.
Up to 3rd place on the split.
Martin, she was 50 hundredths behind before Kreisel. Oh, it's only 58
tied to the 100th. Tied to the 100th with Andrea Greco of Romania.
Cool.
Yeah, so we got our first tie. We've had 8 sleds down, and 2 of them are inseparable already to the 100th of a second.
And Bosch from France is only 200ths behind them.
Yep. Yeah, good
Walker's
close
only
race.
600ths behind them, yeah.
Yeah, 4 sleds covered by 800s. Misha had a bronze medal last week in the monobob race as well. So it was a great weekend for her. Personal best in the 2-man and a bronze medal in the monobob.
Martin, she's been driving for 5-6 years. You know, watch the runner tips. Looks like she's diving out here a lot. Look at her. She's cutting a lot of ice right there. Yeah, there's a lot more ice cut on that back runner that we saw there compared to the other sleds. Look at the top speed, home track advantage for our Austrian slider, Katrin Beierl.
So 8 sleds down from our 14-strong field. Sitting in now, this is tough work for Diana Zolica, making her first World Cup race of the season behind Martina Fontenev. Martina had a hamstring injury, had to pull out of last week's monobob race, and she's obviously aggravated that during the week in training, so she's sitting in. That means that not only does the brake woman have to push the sled alone, but the sled is weighted up with the driver in too.
Well, Diana's first event, tough way to start it. Martin, if I told you her favorite athlete was Roger Federer, would you believe me?
Yeah. It's got to be a top Swiss tennis player or skier, hasn't it?
Yeah, skier, yeah, for sure. She's had some good results. She can drive. A little erratic up there with the crash she had in Sigulda. Speed's pretty good considering the start. Good speed in the bottom. 8th, you know, 8th overall. So not much you can do when you have somebody sitting in the sled like that with a 6:28 start.
Well, we had a couple of sit-ins last week.
8,600 behind at the start. Wow.
Yeah. So 0.8 back to 1.8 back. It should be, if you multiply the deficit at the start, it should be 2.4 seconds back. So some good driving and good top speed from the Swiss sled.
Well, again, she's been here a lot. Look at the bottom runner. Ooh, did a little carving there, and she's over here to the wrong side. Little bump. Hamstring.
Yeah.
Tough to stay healthy in this sport.
Yeah, especially when you pick up a little niggle. Kim Kilicki of Germany. 6th World Cup start for Kim, the 23-year-old with 27-year-old brakewoman Ann-Kristin Strack. Ann-Kristin in her 27th World Cup start. And Kim finished in the silver medal position a week ago here in Innsbruck. She's the reigning junior world champion. And she's got a real chance, if she finishes on the podium here, to take the World Cup lead away from the Olympic champion, her teammate Mariama Yamanka.
A lot of depth in that German program, Martin.
Yep.
We're going to see Stephanie Schneider come up shortly. She won the event here last year, didn't she?
Yeah, if you have a sneeze in the German team, then suddenly there are 3 new athletes right behind you taking your place.
And in sports
Schneider,
competition,
Schneider, Yamanka and Nolte have been the last 3 winners here. This is really close. She'll need a track record to take the lead.
Doesn't have the best speed, I don't think. 600s back. She's going to be within 2 or 300s. 6, stage 6 all the way.
Nearly rolled off the final corner there, John, didn't she? She was letting it fly. And did you see? She ducks her head there. She's gone out of sight as Ann-Kristin Strack pops up to get the brakes. Let's watch it across the finish line.
Competition breeds competition, Martin. You know, that's what happened in the German program. No mistakes allowed. Watch the brakeman. Look at the, ooh, there's a mistake there too.
Yeah.
She hit, look at turn the runners. That probably had something to do with her velocity and her start. And here in the finish, what you talk about, the Ghost Rider.
She's ducking out of sight.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, Martin.
Nearly rolled it off the final corner. It's been a few years since we've seen one of those. So it is a German 1-2. Lara Nolte, last week's winner, ahead of Kim Kalicki, last week's silver medalist. Katrin Beierl in the bronze medal position. 10 sleds down here in Innsbruck, Austria. First heat of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. And this is Melanie Hassler of Switzerland, her 5th World Cup start. Nadia Pasternak behind her for the first time this weekend.
She's an insurance clerk for her profession. Start speed's pretty good. 3rd best start.
That's a change for Nadia, because last week she was pushing the sled with Martina sitting in. So this week she's got the healthy Melanie Hassler.
Yeah, that's not a good assignment. Pushing a lot of dead weight. 4th best speed. Only 2,500s back, 6th best speed there. Must have had a bad exit of Kreisel to lose that speed like that. And you go in at 4th.
Brake woman.
You go in at the 4th best speed into Kreisel, come out with the 6th best speed. That's not the good line you want. 3,900s back, that's pretty good.
Yeah, she's right in that group. 4th at the line, 3,900. Yeah. She's halfway between Katrin Beierl in 3rd and Misha McNeil, who's now in 5th. So a little bit of no man's land for Melanie Hassler. Former brake woman, Yasmin Neef, who normally pushes for her. She actually braked, Melanie braked for Yasmin Neef in a Junior Worlds a few years back before Yasmin went to the back seat again and Melanie came to the front seat.
Well, not bad there. Looked like a lot of steering to get around that curve there, but 4th best speed going into Kreisel, 6th best speed on the exit. Something happened in there. Curve 8, she's on the wrong side of that straightaway going in. Walk down the tunnel.
Well, next up for Russia, Lubov Chernik, making her 1st World Cup start of the season with Yulia Belomesnik. Now, the Russian teams that were here on tour had to go home because of positive COVID tests. Lubov was back in Sochi, so she was, ironically, not a positive COVID test, so she and Yulia are here. It's her 1st World Cup since Sigulda in February in 2020.
We haven't seen her for a while. So 2,200s back, 6th best start. Proves it to the 5th best speed. Watch the take on here to curve 3. Nice. Really quiet steering, which you can't steer up here. You know, some of these athletes talk about body lean getting off some of these curves at the slow speeds. And then here's the slingshot effect onto the bottom from Kreisel. 9th speed, good exit. Ooh, little airborne there, a little late off 11 to 12, but you know, very pedestrian 6,900s back. 9th place. Just ahead of the Italians.
It's not one of her best tracks. She's been 8th and then 12th in the last 2 races here. World Cup best result, 4th place on her debut in Sigulda, the first World Cup race we had in Sigulda in a decade. She's not matched that since, but I think happy to be back on tour. And motorcycle racing fans will recognize that Valentino Rossi helmet.
There's the exit of the Kreisel, and she's on the wrong side of that straightaway. Now she's got to cross over. She got over on the take on. Correct. Down here, watch the back end of the sled. A little late there, you saw that. Into the middle of the curve, had to steer off. I think she's happy to be here.
Yeah, good to see her back on tour as well. Next up, Stephanie Schneider for Germany. Her 52nd World Cup start, her 30th now as a driver, and I think for the first time with Leonie Fiebig behind her. She won in Sigulda, Leonie, with Lara Nolte, her 1st World Cup win, and a couple of days ago was 4 years since she made her 1st World Cup start with Anna Kohler.
So the former track record holder, Anja Schneider-Heinz, Her track record just got beat, but she's on the jury today, Martin. She's got that note from Angela.
Yeah. Yeah, she's done a lot of jury duty, Anja Schneider-Heinze. 600s off the lead, Stephanie Schneider. Don't forget, Stephanie was last year's World Cup points champion, won the Crystal Globe, ahead of Yamanka and Christine de Brown.
She keeps these lines. She's got the best speed. It's down to 6. Second best speed on the exit there. She's going to need best speed here to overtake that deficiency. So if you see her at number 1 on the speed, she's got a chance. 800's probably not. But she's going to be single digits.
600s covers the top 2. 600s now covers the top 3. She is tied with Kim Kalicki. And John, when you get the replay out of corner 9, watch how she doesn't steer, how she leans against the cowl to bring the sled onto the line she wants, exactly as you talked about. So the top 3, all German sleds covered by 600ths of a second. Stephanie Schneider hasn't been rusty, has she?
Well, she's had a few trips over in that, over there in Königssee, I bet. Curve 8. Now, Martin, let's watch for her leaning here out of curve 9. If you don't, the idea is don't steer. Watch so much ice she cuts. Oh, there's a lot of ice being cut right there on both runners. So she carved her way out of there, but tied for the second best speed.
Against the cowl.
Cowling, yeah.
Nudge, nudge, nudge.
The first time I ever saw that was in '79 World Championships. Meinhard Niemer coming out of the 4 S's. And I noticed a couple heats to him. He threw his shoulders to the right to get out of the curve.
Okay, first time out in the World Cup this season for Anne van Nieuwenhuis. Her 43rd World Cup as a driver. Her brand new BTC sled, Ruby. So I don't know, is Ruby a character in Frozen? I'm not sure. A lot of their sleds have been named after characters in Frozen.
Doesn't have that wonderful paint job that she had on the other sleds, the Belgian colors, sponsor colors. Yeah. Well, you know, Anne can drive. We know that. Start
talks a good race too.
Yeah, did great commentary with you last year a lot.
8th at the start, only 11th best speed.
Yeah.
Well, her best here is 12th place. So let's see where she ends up. This looks like she's going to be around 12th place. She is 11th at the line. There's Tom Delahunty, the coach.
How are you, Tom?
Well, Tom is, as ever, Tom. Sarah Ertz behind her, of course, double Olympian, winter and summer. She was a heptathlete in London 2012 and raced in the bobsled in Pyeongchang with Anne in 2018. New helmet livery, new quickskin suit, and a brand new sled.
Sarah, very, very well experienced brakeman. Watch her technique. Look at the way the hands come in, very quiet. And Anne has got the great drive skills, new sled. Lacking at the start, pretty tough for her to show her skills on this track because it's all about the start. Boy, she hit before that finish line, Martin, that finish clock.
Yep, she'll be cursing herself for that. But she's spending her parents' inheritance to good effect. A top 3 covered by 600ths of a second. All 3 are German sleds. All 3, no, 2 of the 3 have won in the last 2 seasons here. Lara Nolte, last weekend's winner with Deborah Levy, is our race leader. But effectively, it is a 3-way dead heat for the medals. So here's how they finish after the first of the 2 heats. Katrin Beierl in 4th place is going to need a little bit of assistance to get onto the podium. Melanie Hassler in 5th, a little bit in no man's land. Then we get into the tough battles. McNeil and Greco are tied. They're a couple of hundreds ahead of Bock of France and a further 6 ahead of Walker. Lubov Chernik right in there as well. Anne van Nieuwenhuis only 500s behind her. So when you go from the tie for 6 down to 11, 11th. That's where the second big battle is. And they will rejoin battle at 11 local, 10 GMT. That's 45 minutes from now. Join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew for the deciding pre-Christmas action here for the women's bobsleigh in Innsbruck.